LEGO making sets based off of Star Wars Legends material is definitely a rare occurrence. However, over the past 27 years, they've done it a handful of times, and today I want to rank all of those sets. I only have a total of 12 sets to get through, so starting off at the number 12 spot, I have a fan favorite in a set that most of you guys are probably not going to like to see at the back of the list, that being 8087 TIE Defender from 2010. For the time this set was released in, being the middle of the Clone Wars era, it was definitely an outlier, which got it a lot of attention. And also at the time of this set's release, 2010, this ship was still not canon yet. It wasn't canonized until 2015 when it appeared in Star Wars Rebels. And don't get me wrong, this set is very iconic, mainly just because it's the only TIE Defender LEGO has made. But the reason I have it at the back of the list is because this thing is just crazy outdated. If you look at certain images of this thing at certain angles, you can just tell this thing released in 2010. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that because there's a lot of other sets released in this era that are a lot more modern than this one. It's just overall a bit of a tacky build, and I'm not talking about the design of the ship itself, I'm just talking about how LEGO designed the actual set. Some areas are bulky, some areas are bare boned, it just simply looks outdated. And because of that, LEGO really needs to remake it because I think a lot of fans, myself included, would really want that. Anyways though, up next at the number 11 spot, I have one of my favorite battle packs of all time, that being 75079 Shadow Troopers from 2015. This set is Legends because it is kind of indirectly based off The Force Unleashed, and that's because the Shadow Guards in this set appeared in that game, and that's kind of where LEGO got the inspiration for them from, and they look really awesome. They're some of the most unique figures LEGO has made before, but then on top of that, you also have the Shadow Stormtroopers, and I think these guys are beautiful. I actually think they're the best Shadow Stormtroopers LEGO has made before. They've made multiple different variants, but I think these ones are on top. Instead of being all black, they're a sort of gunmetal gray color, which I think makes them unique compared to the other ones, and it just looks really good. It gives them a nice shine, and overall, compared to all the Imperial battle packs LEGO has made, I think this one is very underrated. Moving on to the top 10 though, at the number 10 spot, I have another battle pack, that being 75001 Republic Troopers versus Sith Troopers from 2013. This was one of the last Old Republic sets that LEGO made back in 2013, and it definitely didn't close out the sub-theme with a bang, but that doesn't mean it's a bad set. I actually think it's a great set. It's obviously one of the most unique battle packs LEGO has made, and the designs of those Sith and Republic Troopers are just so cool to me. They're all highly detailed, and they all have very awesome looking helmet molds. And then on top of that, I actually like the speeder in this set quite a bit. I know I don't acknowledge battle pack builds very often because battle packs are mainly about the minifigures, but this one is just kind of cool and really stands out to me, mainly because I don't really think it looks like something from Star Wars. It just looks like kind of a sci-fi speeder, but not a Star Wars speeder, if that makes sense. But I still think it's cool, and the minifigures as well. Anyways though, up next at the number 9 spot, I have a bit of a weird one, that being 10131 TIE Fighter Collection from 2004, and I think this set is either good or bad, strictly depending on just how you look at it. For one, the only reason it qualifies as a Legend set is just because of the droid TIE Fighter, which I'm pretty sure is from like the Dark Empire comics or something, but obviously all the other TIE Fighters in this set are TIE Fighters that LEGO had already made before, which is kind of what makes this set a bit strange and hard to rank, because on one end you can look at it as like, whoa, a really awesome deal for 4 TIE Fighters because it was only $70 back in 2004. But then on the other hand, again, none of the builds are unique besides the droid TIE, which kind of makes it seem like LEGO just re-released sets they had already made before and then threw in an exclusive build to try to boost sales. So again, it really is good or bad just depending on how you look at it. You can look at it as a great deal, or you can look at it as LEGO simply just re-releasing sets. And then on top of that, another thing that makes it kind of weird is that this set has a 101 number, which back in the day were the numbers for UCS sets. So that means that LEGO thought this was a UCS level set. But regardless, the droid TIE Fighter does look pretty cool. It has a very unique design, and they'll probably never make this again, so that does set this set apart. But also besides that, it's not very unique because the other TIE Fighters we already saw before, either in standalone sets or the 2-in-1 sets. So that's why it made it to the number 9 spot, but I'm not going to put it any higher. Moving on to the number 8 spot, I have a fan favorite, that being 7672 Rogue Shadow from 2008. And I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest, over the past few weeks, this set has definitely been growing on me. From the outside, it is a very sleek and a really cool looking model. I think it's pretty impressive how for 2008, LEGO was able to make this set so accurate to the in-universe design, and it also has quite a few different functionalities with some hidden compartments and some hidden play features, which I think is cool. And then on top of that, it also has a really solid minifigure lineup for the minifigures that were included. The reason I say that is because I really wish this set included Proxy. I think that character being in this set would have added so much more, but LEGO didn't include it, which I think is disappointing. But at least the 3 minifigures we do get are really nice. However, the reason I'm not putting it any higher is one, because of Proxy, like I just mentioned, and also because despite the ship looking really good, there are some areas of it that are kind of fragile, and parts of it also just feel kind of empty and incomplete, specifically the bottom half of it. It's just very open and kind of looks like it's missing pieces even though it isn't. So again, this set has been growing on me. I think it looks really awesome and has some cool functionalities and figures, but that still doesn't mean there aren't some things about this set that I don't like. Anyways though, up next at the number 7 spot, I have another fan favorite, that being 7664 TIE Crawler from 2007. This is one of the most bizarre Star Wars sets LEGO has ever made before, and because of that, over the years, it's kind of developed like a cult fan base just because it's so unique. And I mean, it's pretty obvious why. It's literally a TIE fighter with treads on it. It just looks really cool. However, speaking of those treads, they're kind of like a double-edged sword, because as they look really cool, they're also extremely tedious to build because you have to connect them all individually one by one, and it takes a very long time, which is probably the #1 complaint with this set among the fan base. But then on top of that, there are also areas that are kind of fragile. The panels on the treads fall off pretty easily, and also the tread sections themselves have a pretty weak connection to the cockpit, which is definitely an issue if you handle this set too aggressively. So again, this set is very unique, but it does have some issues like I just mentioned, so that's why I'm not putting it any higher. Oh, and also it's got 2 Shadow Troopers. I forgot to say that. I guess that's pretty cool. Moving on to the number 6 spot, I have a classic Clone Wars set, that being 7679 Republic Fighter Tank from 2008. Out of the 3 Republic Fighter Tanks that LEGO has released, this is the only one that qualifies as a Legend set, and that's because it was simply just released before the ship got canonized in the later 2010s, I think around 2015 or 2016. But regardless, like I said, it's a classic. It is a bit oversized and bulky compared to what these ships look like in universe. However, I don't think that really takes away from it because it just looks really cool regardless. It's a classic playset and also a classic army builder because these look awesome in large numbers. However, there's one specific thing I don't like about this set, and that's the reason I'm not putting it any higher, and it has nothing to do with the build. It's actually the fact that it doesn't include enough minifigures, specifically just some battle droids for the clones to go against. This set would have felt way more complete if it included a 3rd clone trooper along with like 2 battle droids maybe. That would have rounded off the set as a whole a lot better, but instead we just got 2 normal phase 1 clone troopers, which are cool, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't feel like enough for a set like this. Anyways though, up next at the number 5 spot, I have a set that I guarantee most of you guys probably forgot about, that being 75204 Sandspeeder from 2018. And it might be a bit of a hot take to put this set above the Republic Fighter Tank from 2008, but I honestly couldn't care less. I think this set is awesome. If you couldn't tell, it's literally just a snowspeeder recolored to be tan and gray, and I honestly think the tan and gray colorway looks really nice on it. And then of course the build itself is also just your typical modern snowspeeder, so it looks really good in general. But then on top of that, you also have 2 incredible looking figures, which LEGO just calls Sandspeeder pilots, but if you own this set, they could definitely double as just any Rebel pilot. And if you're wondering where this ship came from, it's actually based off an unreleased toy from like the 70s or 80s, I think. And then later from there, it appeared in like a random board game or something, I think. So that means that on top of the set being cool, the story behind this ship is also cool because LEGO literally based it off a canceled toy from the 80s, which I think is awesome. Up next at the number 4 spot, I have one of my personal favorite sets of all time, that being 75087 Anakin's Custom Jedi Starfighter from 2015. When this set released back in 2015, it felt like such an outlier compared to every other set that year because obviously it's based off of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter from the Clone Wars 2003 miniseries, and this was the first and so far the only set LEGO has ever made from that show. So because of that, again back in 2015 when it released, it just felt like such a random outlier. But hey, that's not a bad thing because the set's freaking awesome. LEGO did an amazing job at capturing the kind of over customization of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter here. There's a lot going on. It's got massive blasters, it's got massive fins, it's got those giant engines in the front, and it just looks really awesome. And then on top of that, the figures are really good too because you have Anakin and Asajj Ventress both in the style of how they appeared in that show, and Asajj Ventress especially just looks really good. They did a really good job with her. Overall, this set is just a banger, and again, it's one of my favorite sets of all time. Anyways though, up next at the number 3 spot, I have a set that I think is pretty underrated, that being 9497 Republic Striker Class Starfighter from 2012. Most of the old Republic sets do get a lot of attention from the community, however this one compared to the others definitely kind of goes under the radar. I just simply don't really see a lot of people talking about this one compared to the other ones, but I think it's awesome. The Starfighter itself simply just looks really pretty. I love the dark red and white colorway, it stands out. It also has a really nice wing functionality too, and then on top of that, it also includes the main protagonist characters from the Old Republic cinematics. Moving on to the number 2 spot, I have another Old Republic set, that being 75025 Jedi Defender Class Cruiser. And I used to think this set was really awesome. For a long time, I actually considered it to be the best Old Republic set, and don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't think it's awesome anymore. It still is a very unique set, set, a massive cruiser with an incredible minifigure lineup, including 3 figures that are some of the best LEGO has ever released before. But at the same time, the reason I don't think it's the best Old Republic set anymore is because the ship design is kind of awkward, and I'm not talking about the design of the LEGO set, I'm talking about the design of the ship in Star Wars. It just has a very cartoonish feel compared to the other Old Republic ship designs, and as you can see here, when it's translated into a LEGO set, it's just kind of like scrunched up. It literally looks like it got squished together and should be a bit longer, and that's something about this set I always used to just overlook. However, nowadays, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But again, that in no way means I'm saying the set is bad. I mean, I gave it the number 2 spot after all. I think it's that good, but I just feel like it's sort of squished up cartoonish design is something that's worth noting. And again, it's not LEGO's fault because that's really just how the ship is in the game. But now making our way to the number 1 spot, who would have guessed? I of course have 9500 Sith Fury class Interceptor from 2012. For a lot of people, myself included, this was kind of a no-brainer to put at number 1. This is easily the most popular and sought-after Old Republic set, and honestly one of the most sought-after sets ever made. For one, I personally just love the design of this ship in general, and I think LEGO did a very good job at translating it here. It kind of resembles a TIE fighter in like the shape of a dagger, which I think is awesome. It just makes it look super aggressive. And then on top of that, of course, you have the highlight, Darth Malgus. This is one of the most popular and sought-after figures ever made, and a lot of people might think it's overrated, but you can't deny that for 2012, LEGO did an incredible job with this. And then on top of that, again, the ship just looks awesome. It's very intimidating, and it fits Darth Malgus very well. So like I said, it was just a no-brainer to put this at number 1. Anyways though guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you think about my list down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the screen right now.